Everyone pictures sun-soaked beaches, but this island nation hides surreal landscapes that seem to come from a dream. Imagine diving into Woftuwatu shipwrecks that became underwater cathedrals, walking among chocolate-like domes, numbering over 1,000, and slipping onto sandbars that reshape themselves with every tide. Few places hide stranger secrets. A lake often called the cleanest in the country, a cove where jellyfish drift harmlessly, and an island where bioluminescent waters paint the night. In this video, I'll show you the Philippines, its hidden coves and islands that defy belief. Siargao Island protects one of the world's rare permanent tidal rock pool systems, where emerald lagoons emerge from the reef at low tide. Do you know Cloud 9 on Siargao is one of a handful of perfect right-hand reef breaks on the planet, producing the hollow barrels that put this island on every surfer's map. Beyond the surfers, locals follow the tide lines to find Magpupunko's sculpted pools, each revealed like secret green rooms, carved by centuries of waves. These pools are connected to a chain of rock formations and shallow channels that thread outward to palm-fringed sandbars, such as Gayam and Daku, linking one wonder to the next. When the tide falls, fishermen wade through crystalline water and children chase bright gobies across exposed coral, a daily ritual that reads like an ancient map. From those sandbars, you can see Sugba Lagoon's mirror still waters holler a different call, inviting kayakers and cliff jumpers into a quiet emerald cathedral. Sugba's mangrove-framed channels slip you inland, where submerged roots host juvenile fish and tiny crabs, forming a living nursery that sustains local fisheries. At dusk, the lagoon's calm gives way to phosphorescent trails as bioluminescent plankton light the paddles, turning each stroke into a comet's tail. Evenings swell with stories of big waves and narrow escases, while lanterns sway over long wooden tables and the smell of grilled fish follows the tide. Early mornings before the crowds, reef fish scatter across glassy flats, and photographers find the light that makes Siargao's blues impossible to forget. Conservation projects now bring scientists to the same tables as fishermen, translating observations into reef restoration and sustainable tourism plans. In the next segment, we trace one turtle's journey from nursery mangroves to offshore grassbeds, a single life that reveals the fragile links holding Siargao together. The chocolate hills of Bohol comprise more than 1,200 near-identical conical limestone mounds, a geological formation found almost nowhere else on Earth. Do you know the chocolate hills turn brown in the dry season, creating the illusion of a landscape made of chocolate that inspired their name. Scientists believe these hills are weathered karst limestone, formed from uplifted coral deposits and centuries of rain and erosion. Beneath the grass, fossilized marine life hints at a time when this region lay under a shallow tropical sea millions of years ago. Their uniform cones, counted in the thousands, create a rhythmic sea of hills that confounds first-time visitors. Local folklore offers competing tales, from weeping giants to quarrelsome titans, each story giving the landscape a human heartbeat. Up close, caves and sinkholes reveal the limestone's porous past and the hidden water systems beneath the ground. From viewing decks, shadows and sunlight rewrite the hills every hour, making each visit feel like a new discovery. Many travelers pair the chocolate hills with the nearby tarsier sanctuaries, linking stone and living heritage in a single day. A short drive leads to the Lobak River, where the same limestone underpins emerald banks and slow, reflective waters. That geological continuity ties Bohol's attractions into one story of uplift, erosion, and ecosystems born from stone. Conservation work now focuses on protecting grass cover and preventing erosion, so these formations endure for future visitors. At dusk, the hills take on a warm bronze hue, and the silence is broken only by insects and the rustle of dry grass. In that quiet, you sense how slowly the landscape was written, not in years, but in epochs. The precise alignment of cones still puzzles geologists, and each new study peels back a layer without removing the mystery. Moving from the hills toward the coast, limestone gives way to mangroves and then to vibrant coral reefs, a continuous chain of connected habitats and livelihoods. Standing on a ridge, you can map that connection in your mind and plan a route that takes you from stone to sea. Think of the Chocolate Hills as the opening paragraph of Bohol's story, and then follow the sentences that lead to the islands beyond. Kayangan Lake in Coron is fed by an underground freshwater spring and cradled by jagged limestone cliffs, so clear, the water ranks among the clearest lakes on Earth. Do you know Barracuda Lake nearby holds an invisible boundary, a sharp thermocline, where warm surface water plunges into a dense, cooler layer, creating underwater strata few divers ever witness? From those mirror-like lakes, the islands open into a string of hidden pools like the Twin Lagoon, where tidal currents and narrow limestone gaps turn the sea into a secret, shifting chamber. Swim through the narrow passage and the world changes. Salty surf becomes a calm, warm basin sheltered by cliffs that filter light into surreal blue surfs. Further out, coral gardens quilt the shallow reefs of Siete Pecados, with hundreds of fish species, yet just beyond them lie the skeletal remains of a sunken Wabiuru fleet that has become an underwater cathedral. These wrecks, wrapped in coral and home to gorgonians and schooling jacks, are living museums where history and reef life fuse. High above, the karst pinnacles of Coron Island rise like fossilized waves, their freshwater pools and hidden caves feeding the lakes below. Trails that thread through limestone windows suddenly drop you into viewpoints where islands scatter like green coins on deep blue velvet. Travel between these wonders by banca, and you notice how each stop reframes the last. The calm of Kayangan makes Barracuda's thermocline more startling, and the quiet lagoons make the colors of the coral gardens sing. Local fisherfolk navigate by seabed signs and oral maps passed through generations, binding human stories to these wild formations. At dusk, mangroves and salt flats breathe, drawing migratory birds into the shallows, while plankton ignite the nighttime sea in private starlit pulses. With every tide, Coron rewrites its shoreline, revealing new caverns, burying old timbers, and promising fresh mysteries for anyone willing to look. Pause on Mount Tapias, and the bay unfolds. Winding channels between limestone fingers, the ghost fleet, and emerald lakes tucked like secret mirrors. From that vantage, it's clear how geology, war, and ocean currents braided Coron into a mosaic almost impossible to find anywhere else on Earth. Some freshwater pools here harbor tiny isolated species of shrimp and crabs found in only a handful of places worldwide, relics of ancient sea level shifts and long isolation. Finding them requires local guides who read tides and reef whispers as if they were maps, leading curious visitors deeper into Coron's many-layered secrets. Every inlet in Coron is a lesson in slow time. Coral builds centimeter by centimeter, while limestone cliffs millennia into needle-thin spires. Scientists and storytellers come here for the same reason. Each reef, wreck, and lake keeps a record of climate, sea, and human passage waiting to be deciphered. Kalanggaman Island's narrow white sandbar stretches like a comet's tail for more than a kilometer at low tide, creating two luminous crescents that appear and vanish with the currents. Do you know Kalanggaman's sandbar can split into twin tongues, separated by mirror-flat pools, turning the shallow sea into a palette of turquoise, emerald, and cobalt that photographers sees? Beneath those translucent shallows thrive dense coral gardens, where parrotfish, rossi, and shy gobies graze, and where tiny seahorses anchor to seagrass in the calm water. Local fishermen, municipal rangers, and volunteer divers patrol these waters, building a community-led sanctuary that balances sustainable livelihoods and protection of nursery habitats for vulnerable species. By mid-morning, day trippers arrive from Palampon and neighboring ports, drawn by the sandbar's perfect symmetry, then linger for long snorkeling sessions in visibility, often exceeding 20 meters. Because there are no permanent settlements or infrastructure, every visitor action counts. Strict rules on waste, controlled camping, and guided tours were introduced to preserve the island's fragile dunes. Kalanggaman functions as a hinge in the central Visayas, a quiet waypoint for boats sailing between Leyte and Cebu, and an evocative contrast to busier tourist hubs nearby. Its shoreline constantly reshapes itself with each tide, a literal demonstration of how the sea sculpts land, creating ephemeral habitats that support juvenile fish and shorebirds for brief windows. Less known is how those temporary lagoons act as nurseries, sheltering baby fish and crustaceans in shallow, warm water until they are strong enough to venture into open reef systems. This fragile choreography of sand, current, and life means that well-meaning visitors can cause irreversible damage. Management efforts now focus on education, patrols, and strict visitor quotas. As late afternoon light turns sand to honey, the island becomes a study in contrasts, intense color, and profound quiet, a place where the passing of time is visible in shifting tides. Leave Kalanggaman with a clearer sense of responsibility, and you'll understand why protecting tiny islands matters globally, because their survival reflects how we treat the seas that sustain us all. Bantayan Island's powdery white sand and crystal-clear shallows form one of the Philippines' rare coastal lagoons, where seagrass meadows thrive alongside coral bommies. Do you know Bantayan Island shelters Sohoton Cove, a freshwater grotto tucked inside a private resort that has secret pools used by locals for generations? Beyond its beaches, Bantayan's sleepy fishing villages still row traditional outrigger boats with colorful painted prows that trace routes unchanged for centuries. You can feel the link between the sea and daily life in Santa Fe and Madre de Dios, where nets are repaired on sun-bleached docks and chili-scented cooking fires smoke at dusk. Unlike busier nearby islands, Bantayan preserves quiet stretches like the sandbars of Virgin Island that appear at low tide and vanish by high tide. Those ephemeral sandbanks create mirror-like pools that reflect the sky and draw migratory birds between seasons. The island's coral gardens bend into a living mosaic, connecting snorkeling spots to the reef flats that nurture juvenile fish returning to Cebu's larger marine reserves. Conservation efforts, led by local fishermen, protect these nurseries, blending traditional knowledge with modern practices to keep tuna and grouper populations robust. History lingers in Bantayan's stone churches and in the rhythm of festival drums during Holy Week, when centuries-old rituals transform simple places into living stages. Wandering from a quiet chapel toward the shoreline, you sense how culture and nature flow together like two neighbors sharing a common fence. Walk inland, and you'll find mangrove belts and coconut groves that trap sediments and feed the reefs, an invisible partnership that safeguards the island from storms. This fragile balance is under pressure, yet community-led cleanups and reef nurseries show how resilient stewardship can rewrite an island's future. Local cuisine tells the same story. Grilled snapper and kinilaw, prepared with vinegared coconut milk, bring sea and shore to the table. Simple roadside stalls offer sweet pandan desserts and freshly cracked coconuts, each bite connecting visitors to generations of coastal living. Nido's Bakuid archipelago rises as jagged limestone towers carved over millennia. Its hidden lagoons hold water so clear, you can count fish below defined shafts of light. Local fishermen thread narrow channels that suddenly open to secret beaches framed by cliffs. Kayaking into the small lagoon feels like entering a living postcard of calm. The big lagoon swells with emerald depth that glows when tides shift. Limestone spires reflect like cathedral pillars on glassy water, doubling the landscape. Island hopping here becomes a slow discovery of nesting seabirds and hidden coves. Each islet keeps its own microclimate, sprouting palms, ferns, and small orchids. Nakpan Beach stretches as twin sands meeting open Pacific surf for kilometers. Waves sculpt dunes that shift with seasons, creating sandbars overnight for new coves. Dive sites near Helicopter Island and Dilumacad host coral gardens teeming with clownfish, wrasses, and turtles. Snorkelers drift beside bommies, where shy octopuses hide among soft corals and sea fans. At dusk, mangrove channels spark with bioluminescent plankton, turning oars into ribbons of light. Fishermen still use wooden bangka, their silhouettes cutting the horizon like ink strokes. Conservation groups protect marine sanctuaries, where sustainable tourism funds reef restoration. Community patrols and reef nurseries are slowly reviving bleached coral into living color. From Taurau Cliff, the archipelago unfolds in layered blue sluices, a map of sea and stone. The hike is sharp, but rewards panoramic views that make the geography readable at a glance. Night markets trade fresh seafood and stories of long voyages beneath strands of lamplight. Leaving El Nido feels like closing a chapter, while knowing the next island northward to Coron, or inland toward Puerto Princesa, waits to continue the story. Many visitors then sail northward to Coron for wreck-strewn wreck dives or explore inland rivers. The island chain stitches itself into a larger Palawan tapestry of karst, mangrove, and reef. Hundred Islands National Park is one of the planet's rare karst archipelagos, where more than 100 limestone islets rise abruptly from a shallow, translucent sea and change appearance with every tide. Do you know 100 Islands National Park can reveal or hide dozens of tiny islets depending on seasonal tides, creating new beaches and lagoons almost overnight? The islands are ancient coral platforms, sculpted by wind, waves, and time. Their cliffs punctuated by sea caves and narrow tunnels that invite exploration. From the summit of Governor's Island, you can scan a forest of rounded green crowns that look like islands in miniature, each with its own secret shoreline. Beneath the surface, shallow reefs and seagrass beds host colorful fish and ghostly sea cucumbers, making every boat stop an invitation to snorkel. Some islets hide mangrove fringes and freshwater springs at their center, tiny ecosystems that sustain birds and crustaceans out of view from the mainland. Local fishermen still read the tides here like a map, guiding visitors through hidden channels to crescent sandbars that appear at low tide. On quiet mornings, the islands cast long reflections across glassy water, and tiny caves echo with the distant rhythm of surf. Centuries of human contact have left relics too: wharves, small chapels, and simple trails carved for pilgrims and island guardians. Because the cluster is constantly changing, scientists and locals still debate the exact count, and that mystery keeps visitors returning. After a day island hopping and snorkeling, many travelers follow the tide of discovery inland toward Bolinao's waterfalls and lighthouses, continuing the region's story of sea meeting stone. Every cove and cliff here feels like a page of a living atlas, small, mutable, and full of secrets that only reveal themselves to those who slow down to look. In the Philippines, Sohoton Cove on Bukas Grande hosts one of the world's few stingless jellyfish sanctuaries, a living phenomenon rarely found anywhere else. Do you know that in Sohoton's crystal lagoons, tiny golden jellyfish drift harmlessly against limestone walls, behaving more like drifting petals than predators? The cove is carved from ancient limestone, folding into narrow channels, secret caves and sunlit pools that feel suspended from Timi. Boatmen in slender bankas thread through razor cliffs to reveal hidden lagoons that empty into caverns where light fractures into surreal blue thules. Visitors glide through openings barely wider than the hull, then emerge into wide basins ringed by vertical rock and mangrove roots. In those basins, the water runs clear enough to count the ribs on a juvenile trevally and watch the jellyfish pulse in ghostly slow motion. Local guides still tell stories of fishermen who learned to harvest without harming the jellyfish, a fragile balance of tradition and protection. Conservation efforts here restrict numbers and regulate tours, so the sanctuary remains a living museum rather than a tourist exhibit. Beyond the jellyfish, Sohoton's caves hold freshwater pools and stalactites that drip in silence, their passages marked by ancient tidal lines. Kayaking through the tight passages feels like slipping into another world, where every splash reveals a new shade of green or an unexpected pocket beach. Sohoton's drama doesn't end at the shoreline. The surrounding islets frame sunsets that turn limestone to molten gold and glass the sea into a sheet of fire. From here, the archipelago seems to fold outward, a natural invitation to continue to Siargao's surf and the remote reefs that guard the Pacific. The transition is more than geographic. It's a change in pace from hushed lagoons to roaring waves, and every voyage links island stories together. Once you've watched the jellyfish pulse, you'll begin to understand why Filipinos revere these waters. They are a living atlas of patience, adaptation, and hidden beauty. Sohoton Cove asks you to quiet your expectations and let the landscape reveal its secrets, slow as the tide, but unforgettable in consequence. If you seek a place where nature rewrites the rules, where a jellyfish can be harmless, where caves keep their own climates, and where isolation breeds wonder, Sohoton waits. Along the Bicol coast, Caramoan's karst limestone towers rise from the sea in sculpted spires found in only a handful of places worldwide. Do you know Caramoan hides labyrinthine coves and tidal tunnels that reveal emerald lagoons and secret beaches only at low tide? Boats thread between jagged islets named Mariukad, Lahos, and Cotivas, each with their own shuttered caves and white sand pockets. The island's steep cliffs shelter coral gardens, where rare reef fish and horned sea stars feed in shallow, sunlit verges. Gota Beach, a crescent of soft sand, acts as the region's quiet hub, a place where fishermen mend nets beneath coconut palms. From Gota, you can hop to Sabitang Laya, and step into caverns that open onto hidden pools framed by ferns and hanging vines. During the dry season, rainwater filtration through the limestone carves clear subterranean channels that flush the lagoons with startling clarity. Those currents concentrate plankton and small fish, and in the shallows, you can snorkel alongside colorful clownfish and fragile corals. Caramoan's rhythms still belong to the island communities who keep traditional boat building alive and navigate these channels with uncanny local knowledge. Their stories explain how each islet has a name and a legend, tying rock, reef, and reefers to generations of sea lore. Film crews discovered Caramoan decades ago, and its natural theater became a backdrop to global shows. But the islands have never lost their remote character. To reach them, you pass rice terraces and volcanic foothills on the mainland, a reminder that this still is a meeting place of land and ocean. As the sun slides down the cliffs, shadows lift from hidden grottos, and the sea turns the color of warm jade, promising more to explore. From here, we move toward the next chain of islets, where limestone gives way to mangrove-fringed coves, carrying the story onward. Each low tide reveals sandbars that reconnect islands for a few hours, and travelers who time their crossings discover private stretches of shore. Night brings a different spectacle. The islands fall silent, and the sky over Caramoan bursts with stars unobscured by city glow. In the morning light, reef edges shimmer and the lines between sea and sky blur. A final temptation before you head to the next forgotten reef. Pack a small boat and a sense of curiosity, because Caramoan does not give up its secrets easily. It asks to be explored slowly. Kayangan Lake in Coron harbors an almost otherworldly clarity, ranked among the clearest lakes on Earth, with visibility that can exceed 20 meters. Do you know that beneath its placid surface a sharp line separates saltwater from freshwater, creating two distinct ecosystems in one pool? Fringed by towering limestone cliffs carved over millennia, the lake sits in a heart-shaped basin that feels intentionally hidden from the modern world. A narrow entry carved through the rock, forces visitors to descend ancient steps and step into a scene that feels both intimate and monumental. Snorkelers glide above submerged rock forests where sunlight penetrates like a spotlight, revealing schools of fish and ghostly pinnacles below. Local legends tell of spirits guarding the lake, and the indigenous Tagbanua people still consider Kayangan a sacred place with rituals tied to its waters. The water's mirror-like surface produces impossible reflections, doubling the limestone silhouettes and making it hard to tell where stone ends and sky begins. Photographers chase that suspended moment, but it's the quiet, when the last motor fades and only water and wind remain, that captures the soul of Kayangan. Conservation rules limit visitor numbers and enforce strict no-swim zones for fragile areas, a necessary trade-off to preserve its pristine chemistry and rare species. Yet a short boat ride away lies another of Coron's wonders, Barracuda Lake, where volcanic heat and mineral layers produce an entirely different underwater theater. Together, these lakes form a mosaic of extremes, one crystalline and cool, the other warm and mysterious, teaching us how geology can sculpt divergent worlds within minutes of each other. To approach Kayangan is to travel through time, tracing the slow work of sea and stone that produced caverns, ledges, and hidden chambers beneath the surface. Scientists come to sample its waters, divers map submerged passages, and travelers come seeking that rare clarity that feels like touching the pure heart of the islands. But the lake keeps its secrets. For every foot of water we pierce, there are depths of story, history, and ecology still waiting to be understood. In the next segment, we'll follow the line from Kayangan's mirror to the jagged cliffs that lead into Coron town, where history and modern life converge these days. There the contrasts continue. Coral-strewn reefs give way to bustling markets, and the island's past whispers beneath the hum of new tourism. But for now, Kayangan lingers in the mind as proof that the Philippines hides microcosms of the planet's wildest beauty in tiny guarded hollows. Hold that image as we move on, because the islands still pack surprises that will overturn everything you think you know about tropical lakes. Boracay's white beach is composed largely of crushed foraminifera shells, making its sand unusually powder-fine and cool even under a noon sun. Do you know Boracay's coastline actually shifts year to year, reshaped by seasonal currents, typhoon surges, and meticulous rehabilitation work on the island? Few islands combine such dramatic shoreline transformation, with hidden coral gardens teeming just beyond the breakers. The reef flats near Crocodile Island and local channels shelter rare nudibranchs, clownfish colonies, and reef species seldom glimpsed by casual swimmers. In 2018, Boracay shut down entirely for environmental rehabilitation, a bold experiment that visibly restored water clarity and public trust. That closure also revealed secret mangrove pockets and freshwater springs that act as natural filters, quietly supporting the island's marine life. Willie's Rock, a volcanic outcrop topped by a small chapel, frames sunsets with surreal silhouettes that photographers chase across the globe. At low tide, tide pools around the rock expose miniature ecosystems where anemones, brittle stars, and tiny crabs enact daily survival dramas. Puka Shell Beach, strewn with fossilized shell fragments, provides sand with coarse, pale texture and a quieter rhythm than the bustling main shore. Offshore seagrass meadows nurse juvenile fish and anchor sediments, forming an underappreciated backbone of Boracay's coastal resilience. Bulabog Beach, the island's windswept arena, transforms trade winds into a spectacle of kites and sails that crown Boracay as a watersport capital. Those same winds sculpt dunes, spread seeds, and influence plant communities, linking seaside sport to slow ecological engineering. Narrow footpaths thread through coconut groves to reveal freshwater springs once revered by local fisherfolk as sacred and life-giving. Elders recount pre-colonial rites and sea-bound myths tied to these springs, weaving human history directly into Boracay's landscape. At night, under certain conditions, patches of shoreline can glow with bioluminescent plankton, like stars washed up on the sand. That living light, fragile and fleeting, hints at the microscopic abundance that sustains the island's larger marine tapestry. Taste is another revelation. Local dishes blend freshly caught seafood with tangy calamansi, coconut vinegar, and island-grown greens for flavors you won't forget yet. Small family-run restaurants still follow generations-old recipes, anchoring Boracay's modern buzz to centuries of coastal culture. Walkable and compact, the island rewards curious explorers who leave the crowded strip and discover silent coves, secret viewpoints, and tiny community gardens. Aliwagwag Falls in Davao Oriental cascades down a rare natural staircase of interlocking pools, forming one of the longest stepped waterfalls in the world. Do you know Aliwagwag Falls is fed by a river that nourishes primary lowland rainforest and shelters plant and animal species found nowhere else in the Philippines? Its terraced drops, sculpted into ancient bedrock, create a living ladder where water slows into clear emerald basins that sustain isolated ecosystems. This continuous flow, unbroken by dams or heavy irrigation, gives the falls a remarkable year-round vitality, uncommon in tropical regions. Approaching the falls, travelers thread a ribbon of road and river that was once a lifeline for indigenous communities who read its seasons like a calendar. Those communities still practice traditional stewardship, and their oral histories map the cascades with names and stories passed down for generations. Each pool holds different minerals and microhabitats. Some shimmer with feast and silt. Others host delicate orchids, freshwater shrimp, and endemic fish that dart beneath the surface. The sound of falling water masks an intricate web of life, where bats roost in cliff crevices and hornbills visit the riverine canopy. Guides from nearby villages lead you across bamboo bridges and through coffee groves to vantage points where the falls unfold like a natural amphitheater. From these perches, you can trace the cascade's geometry down the valley and imagine how seasonal rains redraw its lines year after year. Preservation efforts have kept Aliwagwag's corridor remarkably intact. Yet its future hinges on sustainable tourism and river protection policies that balance livelihood and habitat. As you leave the spray and step toward the shore, you begin to understand why this staircase of water connects not only cliffs, but whole communities, and why the next stop on this journey leads toward the moss-clad ridges and biodiversity of Mount Hamiguitan. From the mirror-like waters of the Tubataha Reefs to the steaming heart of Taal's Crater Lake, the Philippines holds natural phenomena found almost nowhere else on Earth. Do you know that the Puerto Princesa underground river runs through limestone caves, whose passages echo with stories older than recorded history? We followed the sweep of Mayon's perfect cone to the terraced green of Banaue and felt the pulse of cities built between volcanoes and sea. Every island we visited connects like beads on a string, from the surf of Siargao to the karst wonders of Palawan, each shaping the lives and stories of its people. More than postcard landscapes, these places are living systems, coral forests that feed communities, rice terraces that are both agriculture and art. And reefs that sustain global biodiversity. The cultures we met protect, celebrate, and adapt to these landscapes, blending ancient practices with modern resilience. But this beauty is fragile, vulnerable to warming seas, expanding development, and the loss of traditional knowledge. Conservation here is not distant policy. It's the daily work of fishermen, farmers, scientists, and elders who keep ecosystems and traditions alive. If you leave with one image, let it be of interconnectedness, islands, species, and people in a delicate, dynamic balance. Travel responsibly, listen to local voices, and support efforts that protect habitats and livelihoods, so these wonders endure for future generations. The Philippines has given us emerald lagoons, underground rivers, and volcanoes within lakes, but its truest treasure is the living tapestry of its people and place. Carry that curiosity forward. Return not as a spectator, but as a steward, and you will find that every visit changes both the visitor and the islands themselves.